In this video, we're going to be going hands-on with the Pixel 9, 9 Pro, and 9 Pro XL. We're going to be talking about how these actually feel in your hand, what are the new design changes like, what's the best color to get, that's a big one if you know this channel, and which one should you actually buy out of these three. Now we're also going to go hands-on with the super exciting Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and how it compares to the rest of the lineup and other foldables on the market. Now this is a jam-packed exciting video if you're into tech, and you're going to want to watch all the way through. Also, if you're not subbed, what are you doing? At least do it for your boy who went out to this event 1 week into his ACL surgery just for you guys. All right, let's get into it. Okay, here we are. Going to the Pixel event. Still recovering a one-handed cane like house. So, all right, let's get going. Okay. Everything's a mission. Of course, as tradition dictates, we had to stop by Tim Hortons before the journey. While driving, my iPhone was giving me signs that it's time for an upgrade. When we got to Toronto, I chugged down my steep tea, and it was time for the actual event. Hello, hello. Hussain, last name Hussain, first name Tausif, T-A-U. Much. Awesome. Right off the bat, I noticed that all of the devices were up on display, except the Fold. I wonder where that is. While we waited to get started, everybody was just kind of socializing and talking with one another, and that's probably one of my favorite parts about these events. You know, being a YouTuber is a pretty lonely journey, so it's so nice to actually meet and interact with other human beings that are doing the same things as you, and even just catching up with your creator friends who you speak with online, but you don't necessarily get to meet in person often. But now let's get to the actual devices and go hands-on. First up, Pixel 9. These things feel really good in your hand. I love how they did the matte texture on the sides here. And we have, the nice gloss finish on the back. One thing I will say, I don't know, what do you guys think about the design change now with the whole circular camera bump? Now, I've always been a fan of the Pixel 9 with its sleek, pocketable design. Edge-to-edge access, whether it's top to bottom or side to side, is very easy with the phone. This year we have the Tensor G4 chip with 12 gigs of RAM, and as for the display, we have the 6.3-inch actual display with 35% higher peak brightness and the improved Gorilla Glass Victus 2 for better drop, scratch, and splash protection. Now, camera-wise, these things have a 50-megapixel main lens and a 48-megapixel ultra-wide camera, which we will definitely dive into once we get them at home. Now for color options this year with the Pixel 9, you do get Obsidian, Porcelain, Wintergreen, and Peony. Let's start off with Peony, which really pops on camera. Now this is not really a hot pink sort of color, but it's definitely more saturated than the Pro versions of the Pixel 9. It's probably the color that pops the most this year, so if you're looking for something that really stands out, then go with the Peony. As for the Obsidian, I mean, you're talking about gloss black, it's classic, it's going to go with everything. So if you want to go with the safer option, safer out, then Obsidian is the way to go. Now if you wanted something that looks aesthetically a little more elevated, then the Porcelain is a great option. I love how they've done like a creamy off-white color here rather than just like a base bright white. However, my favorite Pixel 9 color this year is probably Wintergreen because it's just so different. It's also a little more pastel-y compared to the Peony, but the Wintergreen is nice, it's different, and it helps you stand out without being too saturated. Now let's finally talk about the Pixel 9 Pro and Pro XL. I'm so excited that this year we have two different sizes because there's a lot of times where people preferred the smaller size of the Pixel 9, but they wanted the Pro version. However, the Pro version only came in the larger size. So this year we do have more options for us. In terms of displays, we have the brightest and most immersive 6.3-inch and 6.8-inch Super Actual panels. These things look fantastic, even when compared to like Super AMOLED displays, which we did a quick comparison with. I might have to do a proper comparison at home. Now in terms of screen size and which one I personally prefer, of course I would probably stick with the larger screen because I just like having more content viewable. However, if you prioritize actual in-hand usage, then you might prefer the smaller sized Pro. Usability is definitely better there. Now the Pros are also powered by the Tensor G4 processor with 16 gigs of RAM for advanced AI capabilities. This really helps the phone fly. I mean, the Pixels have never really been slow, but just look at how quick everything is with that 120 hertz panel and super fast processor. This has a more of a shiny finish on the side here, as you can see. I like the matte finish slightly better, but I do like that this gives you a little more grip to actually hold in your hand. But we do have the matte glass on the back here, which I do like. We have the 3 cameras at the back here, 58 megapixel wide, 48 megapixel ultra wide, as well as 48 megapixel telephoto. Pixels have amazing cameras, yet to be seen. So once I actually get these in hand, I will definitely do those comparisons and reviews for you guys. Now let's talk about our favorite topic, colors. Which color should you get and who should get which one? This year we have Porcelain, Hazel, Obsidian, and Rose. Starting off with Obsidian, come on, you know me and matte black go way back, okay? Absolutely love the matte black glass at the back. Say that really fast 3 times. Now this thing looks clean. This is the phone Batman would own. However, one thing that caught me off guard was that it still does pick up fingerprints, even though it's matte at the back, which you can see here. And couple that with the actual glossy sides, I mean, fingerprints become a little bit more noticeable overall on this phone. Next, we have Hazel. Now, this is pretty much the titanium colorway that we've been seeing on the iPhone as well as the S24 Ultra, and it's very similar to that. However, I would say this is probably the most professional and clean looking out of the 4 colors, and would be my go-to if I didn't already own a titanium colored phone. Next, we have Porcelain. Now, Porcelain has always been a really clean colorway, and nothing's different this year. It's also my favorite in terms of aesthetics. This is gonna look great on camera, and also if you're carrying it without a case, it's gonna look fantastic. I'm a huge fan of that off-white creamy colorway, and I think they knocked it out of the park again. And last but not least, we have Rose. Now, this is a nice colorway, however, probably not for me, but I can definitely see my wife loving this. It's definitely more palatable than the pink that we saw on the Pixel 9, in my opinion, because that one was just way too saturated for my liking. However, this is much more pastel-y and toned down. So what I have here with me are all 3 of the 4 phones that are going to be coming out this year. The 4th one I will show you guys in just a second. But okay, so this is the Pixel Pro, which I'm so glad that they did this year, because a lot of people have been complaining about how big the XL size is, and that was the Pro before, like with the 8. So now we have a smaller version. So if you want like a little more manageable, like I can go like side to side, top down, a little more manageable. But if you want that bigger screen, then XL is fantastic. If you want something that, you know, checks most of the boxes, then that is this one, which is the Pixel 9. This is the regular one. So subtle design differences, how you can tell the difference. Gloss back on this versus the Pros are gonna have the matte glass back. Then the sides, you have matte bezels, matte sides, versus over here you have the gloss sides. Now let's talk about a phone that we've all been waiting for a couple of years, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And look, I'm gonna tell you guys right off the bat, my first hands-on experience with this, I was very, very impressed, and I am a huge fan already. This phone solves one of the biggest issues I've had with some other foldables that I've used in the past, which is this outer display. The outer display on this is a 6.3-inch screen, which is the same size as the Pixel 9 and 9 Pro, making this very, very usable on the go. You don't have to open the phone up in order to actually use it properly. You can use this as a regular phone because of the size outside. That's probably honestly my favorite feature about this phone. Now, when you open it up on the inside, you have an 8-inch Super Actual Flex inner display. Now, this screen is also incredible, and it's 80% brighter than previous generation, which was a complaint that people had before, and it's honestly perfect for multitasking, split screen, and stuff like that. The phone is also powered by the Tensor G4 chip and has 16 gigs of RAM, delivering Google's cutting-edge AI features. This thing flies. There's no lag whatsoever. It's really smooth with the 120 Hz and everything. Over on the back, you have a triple rear camera system with 5x optical zoom, 20x super res zoom, and advanced video processing with night sight video and everything all included. I also love how you can use the high-res cameras, but also look at yourself if you're doing selfies or trying to film yourself. But what really brings this phone in for me is how thin it is. Like, this is honestly the thinnest foldable that I've held to date, and having an IPX8 water-resistant rating also makes this super durable. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a great phone for me to daily, and yeah, if you guys want to know my thoughts on this once this phone actually launches, make sure you guys are subbed to the channel. As for colors, you have the classics here, the Porcelain and Obsidian. I think you can't go wrong with either, or there's just a slight difference in preference. These are the 2 watches this year. This is the Pixel Watch 3, and then they have a different name. They're just different sizes, right? One of the good things is the Fitbit integration, which I know a lot of people love Fitbit, and we're kind of upset that it's gone now, but I mean, it's pretty smooth. Look how quick it is. I remember earlier generation Pixel watches, like, I mean, it used to stutter a little bit, right? Like, this is nice and smooth. And then I love this digital crown. Everything is smooth. So I took off my crappy watch and I threw on the Pixel Watch 3. I don't know, what do you guys think? I kind of have a thing for circular watches. I think they look fantastic. And the Pixel Watch is no different. It looks super clean, minimal, and yeah, it blends right in. All in all, that's about it for today's hands-on. Now, if you guys do want to see me talk more about these phones, compare them to the iPhone, the S24 Ultra, and just generally my thoughts on the Pixel lineup this year, then make sure you guys are subbed to the channel because I will be doing all of that and until
more.
then, I will see you guys in one of these two videos.